What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another Ark Insight. And today, we're looking at herbivores, sick of the carnivores. We are looking at the mammoth versus the Paraceratherium, the noodle giraffe, the penis giraffe, whatever the heck you want to call it. So, let's get into it. Quickly though, just want to say a huge thank you to you guys for all the support on the videos, all the likes and everything, all the new subscribers that have come along. Thank you guys for your continued support, but let's get into Ark Insight. Alrighty. Kicking it off, the mammoth. Here we go. Let's take a look. 850 health, 330 stamina, 500 weight, and 125.8 melee damage. Now, both these guys are level 1, so let's take a look at the Paraceratherium stats. Here we go. 1000 health, so already the Paraceratherium has 200 health over the mammoth, 300 stamina, 850 weight, so that's an extra 350 points of weight difference between the Paraceratherium and the mammoth, and 125.8 melee damage. So all in all, pretty decent stats for the two of them. Obviously you will be concerned with weight on these guys because, well, you're going to be using these guys as large transporters, obviously. Now, both of these guys are herbivores, so they obviously do gather berries and whatnot. However, we're just going to quickly go over their special abilities. So the mammoth is a pure wood gatherer. I love how we've set this video up so that there are absolutely no trees in the vicinity that we can actually showcase you the mammoth's ability. God damn it, CJ, why didn't you think of this earlier? So essentially what the mammoth does is he gathers a crap ton of wood. He also reduces the amount of wood in his inventory by 75%, which is the largest amount of wood reduction that any dinosaur has in the game. You've obviously got the beaver, however, that is only 50%. You can see here we've got, that should have given us some wood. Yeah, we've just got the, there we go, let's turn that back on. There we go. Now, you'll see in the mammoth's inventory, a stack of 100 wood weighs 12.5. However, we take it out into our inventory and a whole stack weighs 50. So the mammoth reduces the amount of weight that wood weighs by 75%. He doesn't do anything for berries or whatnot. He still is able to gather them, but he does not reduce the amount of weight for them. The same goes for thatch. He is also able to gather a small amount of thatch, but he does not reduce the amount of weight for it. So that is essentially the mammoth's special abilities. Now his melee attacks do have a slight knockback on them as well, which I guess you could classify as a special ability. His tusks look also rather sick, which is, you know, just not even a special ability. It's just something that I like. Okay. So that is pretty much the mammoth's abilities. Now the Paraceratherium, on the other hand, has absolutely nothing going for himself. He has no special abilities. All he has is this basic attack. Now the one thing that he does have, which I don't know if he classifies as a special ability, is that he does have a platform saddle available to himself. That is pretty much all the Paraceratherium has for himself. He is able to gather berries, he is able to gather thatch and wood, you know, not in large amounts of it, but, you know, he is able to gather it. But, you know, that is essentially all the Paraceratherium can do. He's able to put platform saddles on his back, and that's the only special ability he has, which is kind of sad, because he is a rather cool looking dino. Alrighty, now we're going to get into their movement speed, turning radius, and the rest of the stuff that we normally do in these insights. Alrighty, here we go. Now we've got them lined up. Their butts are in line with that bush. Obviously it starts to rain when we're trying to record. Great. Alright, so first up is the mammoth, and he is away. We're running to those rocks just over there. These guys are both slow creatures, so it's going to take a while for both of them to get over here, but we're going to determine which one is the fastest. Now we're going to wait till we get to there. There we go. Now it took the mammoth just under 14 seconds to reach the rock, which is, you know, obviously these guys are slow creatures, so we don't have anything to really compare it up against, but considering their large bulkiness and, you know, just their general utility usefulness, that is pretty fast. I mean, you got to say that's pretty decent speed, and he still has plenty of stamina to spare, which is another great aspect of the mammoth. Now let's take the Paraceratherium on the other hand. He is in line. We're going to run straight for that rock, and let's go. Now, honestly, I think the Paraceratherium will probably be a little bit faster than the mammoth, I think. That's just my opinion. We're going to find out shortly. It's been 10 seconds now, and actually, yeah, about 13 seconds for the Paraceratherium. So he's slightly faster than the mammoth. Nothing incredibly fast, but, you know, these guys are huge, gigantuan creatures that are running around. However, one downside of the Paraceratherium is that his stamina is a lot lower than the Mammoth. You saw we managed to get back to where we started, and the Mammoth still had about half his stamina left. The Paraceratherium, on the other hand, was already out of stamina. So there is that to take into consideration. The Paraceratherium is probably 1 second faster than the Mammoth, however, its stamina usage is slightly terrible. So all in all, the Mammoth is actually the winner of that because he does have the highest stamina usage. Now, their turning radiuses. The Mammoth here is actually a really good turner. You can see that he's able to pretty much pivot on the spot. No problems whatsoever turning with the Mammoth. However, the Paraceratherium, on the other hand, is slightly slower. He does turn rather larger than the Mammoth. You can see that our turning radius is slightly larger, but you know, what would you expect from these guys? These guys are big, they're bulky, they're slow. They're going to have, you know, large turning radius. Well, the Paraceratherium is anyway. So that's their turning radius is done. Now we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, so next up is their melee damage. Now you can see here we've got a trike running around with us. We're going to get the Paraceratherium to follow us here. Now, we're going to test the Mammoth out first. Now, he does 60 damage, and like I said, he does have the slight knockback, which you can see on the trike there. We're going to get the Paraceratherium to jump in now. There we go, get in there, big guy. Now, the Paraceratherium will hit weaker. Wow, okay, I wasn't actually expecting that. I thought the Paraceratherium would actually hit harder than the Mammoth. Looks like I was mistaken. So the Mammoth actually hits harder than the Paraceratherium. Wow, that's useful information. So, you know, the Mammoth does have the higher melee damage, so obviously the Mammoth will gather more berries as well than the Paraceratherium, I reckon. But we're going to find that out right now when we test them out. So you can see there's one bush there and one bush there. Now we're going to do it within our best ability. We are going to try and gather the single bush with each of the creatures. So bear with me here if we don't actually manage to gather the one bush. Is there two bushes there? I think there's two bushes there. So this is the part I hate about testing with herbivores. You have to try and find single bushes. All right, we're going to try and stand here. We should be able to get one bush. Is that one bush? That looked like one bush to me. So we're gonna leave the Mammoth there. We're actually gonna take a quick look actually before he eats all the berries. So you can see that he's got 42. Let's just quickly calculate. 42. What? That's 60, 70, 120, 155, 155 regular berries and 12 narco berries. Now the reason we're keeping these separate is because the narco berries gather at a lower rate than regular berries. So he's able to gather 150, I think I said 150 berries and 12 narco berries. Oh, we didn't calculate in the stim berries, so about 164 berries for the Mammoth. Now if we come across to the Paraceratherium, my money is that he will actually gather lower than the Mammoth due to him having the lower melee damage. But we'll find that out right now. Let's here we go. This should be enough. There we go. And let's take a look here. Okay, so we've got 22 Tinto berries, 19 stems. That's what? That's 41. That is 51. Let's take a look. 72, 90, 96 regular berries, 19 narco berries. So he does gather less berries than the Mammoth, but judging off that, he's actually able to gather more narco berries than the Mammoth, which is also a useful skill to have. Honestly, I would probably tame up a Mammoth over the Paraceratherium so far because, you know, the Paraceratherium has his uses mainly for PvP because you can build a little box over yourself and tank with the Paraceratherium because he does have a rather large high base health. He's easily on par with Rexes. Rexes have 1100 health. The Paraceratherium has 1000 health. So, you know, they're easily on par with Rexes and they could easily put up a fight against turrets. So do take that into mind with them. Alright, so we've pretty much tested everything, I believe, with these guys. We're going to probably, I think that's pretty much it. I think we're going to do the battle to the death, and that'll pretty much conclude today's Ark Insight of these two guys. We're not going to do their water speed because these guys are both horrible swimmers. You know, if you guys haven't figured that already, then you should have figured that out already, to be honest with you. So we're not going to bother testing their water movement speed. That's pretty much it. We're going to set them in a battle to the death now. We're probably going to unclaim the Mammoth, so the Paraceratherium. Actually, you know what? We will unclaim the Paraceratherium because the Mammoth does have the lower health pool. Alrighty guys, let's set them up for the battle to the death. Alrighty, here we go. And the two gargantuan herbivores are ready to go at it. Let's see here. My money is on the Paraceratherium winning this battle. Honestly, 86 damage. Oh, that's right. We forgot about... Whoopsies. We actually forgot about the Mammoth's secondary attack. So this actually triggers randomly or when pressing the forward key, I believe, as well as attacking. He actually does another attack where he does a ground pound mini attack. This also has a knockback and it deals 86 damage. Now you can see here the Paraceratherium was trying to run away from the Mammoth, but it did not stand a chance. So the Mammoth actually won. The Paraceratherium didn't do any damage to him really. 150 points of damage is what was done to the Mammoth before the Mammoth wrecked the face off the Paraceratherium. So the Mammoth here is the clear winner. Honestly, I would tame up a Mammoth over the Paraceratherium, especially if you're not interested in doing PvP. The only reason Paraceratheriums are tamed up is because of their PvP usefulness. You're able to build a metal box over your rider and you can, go after turret towers and whatnot and soak with the Paraceratherium and his health. But other than that, guys, that'll conclude today's Ark Insight. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you found it useful. But other than that, thank you very much for watching and I hope to catch you in the next one.